Play BBC Radio 5 Live.
BBC Radio 5 Live. Okay. I was having a little bit of a grumble earlier on about car hiring cars. Went away, hired a car, picked it up from the airport, dark, tightly packed car park, slightly harassed from lugging loads of luggage, but fine, no mishaps with the car whatsoever. Returned the car, timely fashion, early in fact, and the car hire representative pointed out a 2-centimetre scratch on a wheel, on the alloy. I can tell you we did not make that mark. So now we're facing a cost for that, a repair cost, and then an admin charge. And I don't even think they're going to repair it. This is what makes me grumble. Who's going to repair a 2-centimetre mark on an alloy wheel unless your car's a ridiculous supercar, which this wasn't, that we hired? And how do I get them to prove that they're going to repair it and that it wasn't there before? Because I couldn't check out the car. And so many people are telling me you've had videos. Raj says, always take pictures and video your hire car. In fact, do not leave the car park before you leave the car park, or they will charge you. Someone else said we had exactly the same issue with a car hire company. Got round this second time round. Coincidentally, friends of mine reported the same kind of problem with the same hire company. And you think, do you push this? Because there is a sense of injustice. I get quite riled by it. Anyway, perhaps it's just all my fault because I didn't video the stupid car in the first place. Scott Dixon is a consumer and motoring disputes expert and hosts the Facebook page, The Complaints Resolver. I wish I knew about this page. Well, I know about it now. Hi, Scott.
Hi, Naga.
How are you?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Do you see, these things, what they do is they niggle at you. You get really riled about it, and it might be your fault a bit. Not my fault, I didn't make the mark, but for just not checking. But then I just think, how can I check for every tiny little mark that really that's not going to affect the car at all? Was I wrong?
Well, the first thing you need to do is inspect the hire car. I mean, it's hindsight and everything else, but, take the vehicle into a well-lit area if you can, and do a slow walk-around video and take photos, particularly of alloys, tyres, bumpers, anywhere that you can expect to be tripped up on for slight marks and everything else. And that's your evidence. You need to do that before and after as proof, in these sort of eventualities. But I would certainly push back and question it and say, prove that this is fresh damage. And also, can you please provide me with proof that the cost that you're alleging for this damage to be repaired matches the damage itself? For example, is it going to cost over £200 to repair a small mark on a bumper?
They're charging 50. They're charging 50. And I bet you the issue I have is if we can't dispute it, but because they say we did it, we say we didn't. No one can win that argument because we didn't take photos. But do they have to prove they've done the work?
I would certainly ask for proof that they've done the work. And because, as you rightly say, they will probably just not bother repairing it at all and just pass that problem on to someone else.
Yes.
And they just rely on consumers not questioning it and just paying up. And it's just an easy cash cow for them.
Okay. What can people... So here's someone caught at Malaga Airport with a flat spare wheel tyre on returning the hire car, never used or even touched it during the week we had the car. What do you say about that? I mean, who checks the spare wheel?
This is the problem, isn't it? They just rely on consumers not doing the full checks before and after.
Come on, Scott. Who checks the spare wheel?
I totally get that and agree. And I would challenge it. Just say, please provide me with the proof that this has happened. And push back on it and challenge it. And if you paid by credit card and they try to push a charge through, under Section 75 of the Consumer Credit Act 1974, you can raise a dispute for transactions over £100 because that holds the credit card company jointly liable. And they don't want to be challenged on it. They just rely on consumers just accepting it without question.
Yeah, Piers has been in touch, said, regarding car hire, I've photographed and completed a video sweep of hire cars for years. It helps, especially when the hire rep sees you doing it. Never had an issue upon return. That's what Katie, our sports correspondent, was saying as well. Always video and make a point of videoing it in front of them. Okay, so take me through the scenario. You get there, you're all harassed, got your luggage, it's a tightly packed car park. They say, yeah, go, and they're all busy. They give you the keys and they say go. They emailed us after with all the markings on it, that, you know, their list of markings. So after we got the car, what should you do if you are hiring the car, if you're about to drive the car away?
Well, ask the representative to stay with you while you conduct a vehicle inspection, and ask them to walk around with you to identify any marks on the tyres, the bodywork, the interior, and also check the vehicle report as well. So has anything been identified as marks on the vehicle report that matches what you see? And
should you be petty? Like, so if I'd seen that little 2 centimetre marks, literally 2 centimetres, about 2 millimetres wide, 2 centimetres long, I wouldn't have said it was a mark. I'd have just thought that's what you know happens to alloys, metal wheels on cars that are a couple of years old. You have to be really petty and pick things out.
Be as petty as possible, because that's what they do when it comes to trying to put costs for damage at the end of the hire period. Okay,
so video better?
Video's a slow walk-around video, and also take photos of all the panels, the tyres, the bodywork, and also take a photo of the fuel gauge, because this is another common problem. So you've got, usually there's two policies on refueling. There's either